Hello, and happy Saturday to everybody. What's going on? It's been a minute since I've been up here. What can I say? It's been a long week. It's been a long time. What's going on? So a few things that we're gonna talk about is how your week's been going, what you've been up to, if anybody had any new good news, anything like that to share. Be more than welcome to call in and we can talk about it. But I'm gonna get right into it right now. So I was talking to a friend of mine. And people always seem to say that I live in my head. I'm one-sided. I don't listen to others, and I seem to get an attitude when somebody tells me something about myself. And so I had to think. I'm like, okay, if that's the case, who isn't, and why is it me that people seem to have this? But anyway, so with all that being said, I took the rest of the week to think about some of these things and reflect on it. I couldn't really see the difference between me and anybody else. I just know that people tend to want to speak on me in particular. So what I did was I just got quiet. I stopped speaking, and it seemed like when I did that, people started saying that I'm acting funny. They say that I don't know how to take criticism, but that's not the case. It's just that if what you're doing is so good, when you have good advice to give me rather than good criticism, what is good criticism? Criticizing is judging how somebody does something. And I just think that people judge a lot of what I do because I'm willing to take the chance and do it. So for the most part, I do feel that people tend to have a loud opinion about me and what I do. So that's just that situation. Then I have a situation where this week a relative called me and he was talking to me about some changes that have been going on in his life. He was married for a couple of years, had been away from home for a couple of years and stuff like that. But he took on a new role in life. He just decided to be this devout, religious person. And when he did that, in the beginning, I could see how he pushed a lot of people away and he judged so critically. He judged critically. I mean, like, he would just revisit conversations that he had with people telling me about it. And when he would tell me as if he just slew a dragon. So I was trying to figure out if he slayed the problem or if he slayed the individual. And the way he sounded, it's like he slayed the individual. The individual was talking about where they were and where they had come from. And so, based on where they were at in life, he chopped them down. They was coming up out of whatever was a bad situation, or it could have been something like that. And he chopped them down. So I already knew where he was at with it. I just saw him just burning bridges. And people would talk to me, they would say, oh, he this and he that. He's a good guy. And I just think he's taking this whole little, you know, life change to the extreme. So it got to a point to where we had talked a few times, and in a few conversations, I felt like I was being challenged or picked on. And my thing to that was I just didn't really respond because I knew who it was coming from. Because I remember my grandmother always said, when somebody bring you some information, you just check your sources, look at the person that it's coming from, and then question why a person is bringing it to you. Is it to help you or is it to hurt you? And sometimes hurt people tend to hurt you, or they're looking to hurt you. But not even intending to, it's just, if you're a good person, you bring good cheer. If you're a bad person, you bring bad cheer. So this person brought bad cheer, and I just didn't want to listen to it. So it got to some points to where we had conversations, and it would go back and forth, not like argumentatively, but it was just, it would fluctuate. Sometimes the conversations would be up, sometimes they would be down. But it depends on where that individual was at. And so this one particular time, I had picked up the phone and called this individual because I hadn't spoken to them in a while. Because I had been busy and they had been busy, but I make sure I pick up the phone for that person. And this person automatically, just, I guess they was having one of them days. It was just like, hey, look, you don't have to call me to pick up the phone and call me, and so I got it, but I called because I just wanted to hear from that person. You know what I mean? There's something wrong with that. You just want to hear from a person. And then the way this person made me feel, I didn't have no fight in me. I didn't want to argue or nothing. I just let it go. I was just like, you know what? I'll talk to you later. And when I said that, yes, it was premeditated on what I was going to do next. And from that point on, I just said to myself, I'm not calling you no more. Because I remember at one point in time, this person was like, don't nobody call me. I don't call people and nobody reaches out to me. So you see who is this and who is that and who really cares and who's concerned about you. I don't know what everybody else's opinion is, but just because somebody doesn't call me, don't make me feel less important. I think it was more so if I called the person, they always push me off, that would make me feel some type of way. But this person just made me feel like if I didn't have nothing bad to say, then I didn't have nothing to say at all. And all I wanted to do was just have a regular conversation. Hey, how you doing? What's going on this week? What happened last week? What you got going on for the rest of the week? Or the day. And this person they just rubbed me the wrong way. And so now it come off as if I have an attitude or I'm just being some type of way, but that's not even the case. So it's Saturday. I woke up this morning and I spoke to my son, spoke to a few people, and I just, you could see the temperature in people's life, like the weather. And for me, I just was, it's like every person, not every person, for the most part, the people that I tried to communicate with, it seemed like it was just the wrong time. And I'm trying to figure out, like, okay, so is it today? Then I look out the window, it was sunny out this morning. And then it started raining with the hail and stuff like that. So I don't know where you at or what you're doing with yours. But see, I used to find it hard to sit in the house with a person for long periods of time. And that was because I got bored with them. And then so when these people say, if you can't be by yourself, then how you gonna be with somebody else? So that's just true. So I worked on being by myself. I'm not hard to be with. I'm just busy mentally. Just as busy mentally as somebody that's busy physically. So I just find myself being more creative when I'm by myself. And sometimes I could be, when I'm being creative, I really don't think about myself that much. Sometimes I just be so into a project or getting something done for somebody or just getting something done for whatever reason that I tend to neglect myself. Sometimes I forget to eat. And it's not that I forget, it's just I be so busy that my body doesn't even realize, like, yo, you haven't eaten. So what I do is, because at one point in time I had an experience where I had to be isolated from everything and everybody that I knew and that I loved and wanted to be around, and my responsibilities, to where I was in a situation to where all I had to do was care for myself, and I had to care for no bills, and I had to care for laundry, I didn't have to care for food, I didn't have to care for anything. I just had to be solely dependent on myself, to bathe myself, feed myself, to go to the bathroom, and to keep myself mentally stable. Because that's what it was like. It was like this silence. And a silence to where silence is loud. It depends on the individual. Silence is loud. And my silence consisted of disappointment. First it was disappointment. Then after disappointment, I was depressed. Then after being depressed, I was tired. Then after I got finished being tired, I was tired of being tired and being depressed. And I just wanted to feel good, so I had to change it. And it wasn't that I can get back to the things that I was doing. I just had to make lemonade with the lemons I had. So I started socializing with people, meeting new friends, and becoming a different me. Didn't know what I was becoming at that time, but it kind of felt good because I didn't know what I was becoming, and I had got so lost into becoming somebody else, or a different version of myself, to where it was more so like now forgetting the old me and learning how to like this new me, this new life, just forgetting everything and everybody and whatever you did and just starting all over. And it was possible for a period of time, but then I had to get back to what I had left and what wasn't finished. And so now that I think about it, when I go through things, I reflect on that moment and how, even though that was a hard thing to get through, it was harder than what I'm going through now. Right now, I'm trying to figure something out. Back then, I was trying to figure how to get out. Now I'm trying to figure out, I'm trying to understand everything that's happening right now. It's not a bad thing. It's just the people around me. I don't look at people like food, but figuratively speaking, I look at people like the things that are the things that are healthy for me: vegetables, fruits, the proper eating, the right thing, or water, the good things that you put inside your body. So I look at all these people around me like those things, and I try to check the expiration date on certain individuals, certain things. Because if it's not for you anymore, it's just not for you. And I don't even try to go through everything. I just try to understand everything that I go through so that I'm informative to someone that asks me a question similar to what I was going through. Like my son, the real good dude. When I see him, I see him. But when he acts a certain way, I see me. I mean, if you got children, if you have a child, have you ever looked at it like that? When you see your child, you see them, but then when they act in how they act, you see yourself. And that's where I was at with it. And this is just part 1 of Memoirs of Caesar. Remember I said it, Memoirs of Caesar. So I'm gonna let y'all go, and I'm gonna leave y'all on that note. And the next time I'll have something different to talk about. But if you like what I said, if you have a comment about anything I said, just drop a comment. Share it with somebody. Like it. I would love to hear back from you. Anybody that listens. Not anybody. To those that listen to my content and want to chime in on something I said, please. I'm more ears than mouth. But it's Saturday, and I'll get with y'all later on this evening. Hope you're enjoying your weekend. I'm YungCza, and I'm out.